Alley Cat Allies is a global organization, and we have been involved with many programs and many activists and their intentions to provide compassionate care for cats, humane, non-lethal control for cats all over the world. When I first opened the email with the news, there were pictures, there was this whole story of what had happened with bloody scenes, and it was ghastly. What the Port of Newcastle has done to these cats cannot be justified. Together, we're going to fight this and we're going to end this.
She said she'd walked out onto the wall and there was these piles of food and blood. Something had happened. She thought perhaps they'd been poisoned.
Injured cats, cats missing, trails of blood.
More blood. I decided to climb in amongst the rocks, and that's where I found Lily.
Lily had been shot a few times in the head. She had bullets through her skull.
We were all in tears, you know. We love these cats, and to see that someone had deliberately hurt them. Found Rosie, beautiful little Rosie. To see her shot in the eye, it broke my heart.
There was approximately 8 missing, and then there's 2 cats we know of that are still out here that we can't catch, that are walking around with broken legs. We've also since found out that they came back the night after it and the night after that and tried to clean up their mess.
There was non-lethal control in place. It had been carried out by people who had sterilized the cats. In Australia, it's referred to as desexed. The cats had been microchipped, they'd been vaccinated, and they were not breeding.
Very rarely do we see a gunshot wound to a cat, particularly around the head. She's blind, she can't smell, she's got a hernia, she's just learning to eat again, but she's slowly recovering.
Once the vet notified us that Lily had been shot, the police said that that had been a legal cull.
We just couldn't understand how people could just go out there and hurt these cats. You know, no one had come forth to try to talk to us, to try to fix this. You know, no one had spoke to us to say that there was a problem.
We focus on TNR, which is trap, neuter, release. When we started here at the Breakwall just under 2 years ago, there were over 100 cats. In that time we've been here, we've reduced the numbers to 40, and that's when the cull happened.
They live in a man-made environment. There's no birds, there's no plants. They're not going to kill any native animals. And so I don't think they were a threat to the native wildlife or even a threat to the community for that matter.
If the Port of Newcastle thinks they can continue to do what they've done before, we have news for them. This is not going to continue. We're going to find every avenue and every legal step to take to stop this. To look at a group of cats and think they can simply be exterminated is exactly the problem. These are living, breathing animals who feel pain, and the approach to control their numbers can be done humanely, and it can be done with non-lethal sterilization. And that's exactly what was taking place here. The Port of Newcastle was very wrong that they could not even find this out. And for them to just simply look at a group of cats and think this was the first approach that came to their mind.
Fear, suffering and pain is exactly what happened to these cats at the Stockton Breakwall. This kill should never have taken place, and we can't sort of just shift the blame onto somebody else. The Port of Newcastle needs to take responsibility for what happened to these cats, and they need to come forward and make a public commitment for no further killing.
They are the one that issued it. They are the ones that's responsible. They are the ones that need to pay for what they've done. We need to get justice for our cats.
Trapping these cats and neutering them and then re-releasing them or rehoming them and controlling the population that way is a lot more humane than trying to cull with a gun.
We need an independent Office of Animal Welfare to ensure that cases like this are prosecuted for animal cruelty.
Our job is to stop these acts, and so that means whether it takes place here in this country or on the other side of the world, Alley Cat Allies is going to be there. We're going to take action to see that this changes. Alley Cat Allies is interested in protecting wildlife, birds, and cats. And the reality is that if this lethal approach, that this mindset continues and is justified in the name of conservation, we will never get ahead of where we can actually have innovative programs that work. There has to be ways that we can find for these animals to coexist. That's our only choice. This is our challenge, and we have to find a way to meet that challenge, because killing is not the answer, it's not effective, and it cannot continue, and it's simply not tolerated by our society.